Morning folks, welcome back to the channel. Right, it's the morning after the bird fair. I just got home last night. What a fantastic event. It was absolutely super. I'm just going to get down a bit. Brilliant event. I met loads of people I've not met before. Big shout out to everyone that took the time to come and have a look at the stall, introduce themselves. I had a good natter with, I think, everyone who were there. It was I can talk with the best of them, but 3 days of solid gas bagging, giving it that. It was hard work, it was tiring, but yeah, we had a great event. It was really, really good. So what we're on with today, right? A few weeks ago, probably 3 weeks ago, I was in the polytunnel, which is just maybe 10 meters that way, watering the tomatoes, and then just out the corner of my eye, I just noticed something flittering about. Anyway, looked up, this little head popping out of a nest, and I'll put a little picture on now. Anyway, looked straight away. I thought spotted flycatcher, which is amazing, really. Anyway, she flew out. I just put my phone up, took a quick picture, and then there were 4 eggs. So anyway, we were away for a few days, came back again, just popped my head in. She flew out, obviously a little bit skittish in that, and bobbed the camera up again. 4 chicks, all of them hatched out. So the plan was just keep an eye on it, minimal intrusion into the polytunnel. So the tomatoes have been suffering. I've really avoided going in there, you know, just keeping an eye on when she flits out for some food, get in there, do what I have to do, and then back off and keep out of the way. So that's the big idea. I've got back from the bird fair, went last night to have a look. Anyway, they progressed massively to the point where they're nearly going to fledge. I'm sure they're going to fledge soon. So I want to get some pictures of them. Not just the chicks, I want to get some pictures of the adults. Now, I've only ever photographed spotted flycatchers before up on telegraph wires and that. They were never really in our area unless you actively went out looking for them in certain locations up in Lancashire. But to have them here nesting in the garden is it's just a mega bonus. I mean, I was talking to one of my mates, Nye, who helps out with the Montgomeryshire Barn Owl group, came and put my box up for me, and he said they're super rare around here. They didn't used to be, but the numbers have really dropped off. So he said you're so lucky to have them, you know, nesting in the garden. So we're going to try and get some pictures. What I did do last week, like I said, I haven't photographed them before, so I don't really know their habits. I got my little Lagopus chair, just sat down on the hedge line, and I just started watching, the habits. This is a good tip for anyone that's starting to photograph a new species. You've got to learn the mannerisms. A lot of it is observation techniques. So I just sat down, hunkered down, chucked a bit of a ghillie blanket over the top. I didn't want a completely enclosed hide because I wanted to see where they were coming, you know, what the habits were. And the more I watched, the more I learnt. What they tend to do, they'll come down, they'll sit on a favourite perch, and they'll keep going back to that perch. And what they do, they sit on that, and then they flit up. They'll catch some prey, catch a midge or a moth or a fly or whatever, and then they'll fly back to it if they've missed, and then they'll work off that particular perch. So my focus is then just to get a hide set up, nothing elaborate. I'm not going to put a big fancy hide up because I need a bit of height, because the perches that they're favouring are quite high up, so I want to be as high up as I can without doing something daft like putting a scaffolding up. So I'm just going to stand up, I'm going to set my tripod at a decent height, and I'm just going to put a simple screen up. And what I'm going to do now, I'll show you how I do that screen. Okay folks, right, what we're going to create now, we're going to create a little standing blind. Dead easy. There's nothing difficult about this at all. So I'll show you what you need. We need a couple of hazel shanks. They're perfect. Roughly, I don't know, 6 foot tall. Depends how tall you are. But don't forget, they're going to be in the ground maybe 6 inches, and our concealment is going to be in the middle of them. Right. The length of paracord, I always carry paracord with me. I've always got a length of this in my bag. Super useful. 4 pegs, 4 tent pegs, any description, it doesn't matter. When you're out in the field, if you've got a knife, you can even make your own. Dead simple. And some concealment. I've got my scrim net and my ghillie leg covers. They're still on my Lagopus chair, so on this one we're going to use a ghillie blanket. Again, perfect for this job. So our 2 hazel shanks, or whatever we decide to use, all I'm going to do, I'm just going to put a bit of a spike on the bottom. These ones are a bit more difficult to put a point on because they've been seasoned, ready for being made into walking sticks. But if you're cutting fresh hazel, dead easy to put a point on. So there we go. Simple point on there. There we go. Okay, now all we need to do, put one of our poles in the ground, simple as that. Decide what kind of width we need to be working between. So roughly, I don't know, I'd say 3 foot is fine. Other one in the ground. Now, I never like cutting a length of rope, so all I'm going to do, we're going to use the full length, and that'll do the job. So figure of 8 knot in one end, so that's going to be for our first peg, and then work out roughly where that's going to go. So we're going to have a guy rope coming down here, a guy rope down the back, a length of cord along there, and then 2 other guy ropes, and then we're just going to drape our concealment over it. So if we say roughly a full span of ourselves, that should do it nicely, and we'll add another foot on. Then we're going to make what's called a clove hitch. So a clove hitch on there over the top, and then tighten that up. Take that distance again. Yep, so the span of our arms and a little bit more. We're going to put another figure of 8 knot in. Figure of 8 knot. It's worth learning your knots, because a proper knot, they're easy to untie. One of the properties of a good knot. And then we're going to go back there. We're going to peg that out. We'll peg them out now. So, first peg. That one's in. Get our other peg. And then what we're going to do, we're going to create a bit of tension. So, that now is stable backward and forward. That's nice and tight. Because we're only using one length of cord, what we'll do now is go back, put another clove hitch in, over the top, tighten that up. That doesn't have to be tight, that one, because we've already got the tension with the first one. So we're going to go across now to this, our next pole. That one needs to be tighter, all right, because that's going to be taking the weight of our ghillie blanket. So we'll get that a little bit tighter. What we can do, we can turn that round to get a bit of tension in it. Okay, if you can't tension that up, just turn the pole and that'll put some tension in it. So now we're going to create 2 more guy ropes, a little bit more, add a figure of 8 in. Tent peg. Another clovitch, again, doesn't have to be tight, that one. And then another figure of 8, and that's our last tie down point. We'll get our last peg and peg that out. So now we have a very, very crude structure. We can get our concealment, whatever we decide to use. Like I said, in this case, it's the good old faithful, good old ghillie blanket. And all I'm going to do with this is drape it over there. There we go. I can drape it on the top if I want. And that is as simple as it is. And all I will do then, I will have the camera set up on the tripod, lens coming through the front. What I can do again, if I've got some extra concealment, I could drape it over. I will have the ghillie lens cover on, and that affords quite a lot of concealment. And then I'll be behind the screen, and I'm standing, I'm at a good height now, because the perches that I've been watching the flycatchers on, they have been elevated. So I don't want to be sat in a hide, and I don't want to be low down shooting up. I want to be as high as I can without all the rigmarole of putting a staging up, etc. Because I don't want to disturb them. I want to be discreet. So this is going to be perfect. It'll work. Right, we're going to take this down now. We'll get it set up where we want it, and we'll try and get some pictures. Always a good idea, get your gimbal head level before you put your camera on. So with this much concealment around, it's hard to see that bubble. So as I said before, I'm right at the limit, maybe a little bit. I might just lower it 6 inches, but I want to be as high as I can. I want that level shot if I can get it. I don't want to be looking up at the bird. That's a big no-no. So I think we're pretty good there. These are a pretty tolerant bird. So I'm just going to cover my arms up, bring the old sleeves down. They're already, you know, from here you can't see it at the moment, but they're already on that favourite perch. I just keep keep hidden behind the camera and the screen. And hopefully we should get some pictures of this fantastic little spotted flycatcher. They're so busy, in and out all the time with prey for the young, fantastic parents. Right, let's see what we can get. So there we have it, folks. Managed to get a few nice little pictures there, but sometimes it's better just keeping things simple. You don't have to, you know, set a big hide up all the time. If it's a situation where you can put something like this up and you want to get a little bit higher, perfect for me on this this particular little shoot, because I wanted to maintain that eye level. It's always nice to get eye level with your subject if you can. I never like photographs when you're looking up at the bird. So yeah, it's worked out all right. An hour or two just stood here and it's fine. But dead simple, 2 sticks basically, bit of cord and a bit of camo, job done. And that will do us for today, I think. Managed to get a few little flight shots. Bit tricky because the light isn't absolutely bang on, you know, we could do with some brighter light, but ramp the shutter speed up to round about 3,000th of a second. Managed to get a couple of them coming in, but it was pushing the ISO a little bit. And the static shots, 2/50th of a second, 200, and got the ISO back, you know, right down to 64, so ideal really. So yeah, a bit of an announcement. So for those of you who I spoke to at the bird fair, you'll already know that I'm going to be the new UK supplier for TRAGOPAN. So TRAGOPAN's a French company. At the moment, if you order stuff from TRAGOPAN, you've got to wait for it to come over from France. You've got to mess around with customs. They send you a bill and it's a bit of a faff, to be honest. So I was asked if I'd like to be the UK supplier for TRAGOPAN, and I jumped at it because I use all the gear, and you know, I can testify to how good it is. I like the gear and I use it a lot, so you know, I'm putting my name to it. So if you want any stuff, any TRAGOPAN gear, drop me an email. I'll put an email in the link. The website should be coming up live around about September time, so TRAGOPAN, the UK site. And in the meantime, like I said, if you want any gear, drop me an email. I'll get you a price and a postage delivery price. You can get stuff to you next day or the day after, and it's going to be yeah, it's going to be good. I'm looking forward to dealing with them. All right, so thanks very much for watching. If you haven't done already, hit that subscribe button, give us a like, and we'll see you on the next one. See you later.